Hello and welcome back. It is that time again, as if we'd only just finished GP. Another one arrives, and we've got the Spain series event this time round. So in qualifying today, we've got Zandvoort, France, Mexico and Italy and Monza. We're back in champions as always, and we've got Fernando Alonso and Carlos Sainz both being used today. And the car, well, we had a good check there, because that's not what we want on the car. We definitely want claw off, true grit on. So true grit, Mirage, Vindicator, Hydra, Flow and Leviathan, Sainz and Alonso. It almost sounds like I'm doing a football team call out, but I'm not. So here we go. Spain to start GP event. We've got the first race from Zandvoort, and let's kick into race number 1, which we require max points from all 4 races. Race 1, here we go. Zandvoort is up first. 7 laps in the Netherlands. And can we get off to a decent start? We've got obviously Sainz and Alonso should qualify pretty much at the front, I'm expecting, this weekend. And we've got a close match-up. 1, 3, 6 and 9. And what we're going to do is basically just cement what we are doing. So I'm going to put Kawhi on. I love a Kawhi, and because we're so far potentially in front of the rival, I'm going to stick a medium on. So soft and a medium to start this race, and trust me, this medium tyre will stay with the soft very easily. And both of these drivers will fly off the line and take P1, P2, or will they? Because Carlos Sainz eventually gets round. And already, with these 10% boosts this weekend, it could be a bit of a formality with matchmaking. Now, if you get a good matchmaking, starting P1 and P3, it's almost guaranteeing 47 points, if not for any safety cars. However, if you're starting at the sort of further back, and your opponent 1 and 3, it's going to be very hard work indeed. So as we go down the first lap complete at Zandvoort, and Lewis? I'm so used to using Lewis. Alonso leads the field round from Carlos Sainz in P2. Got a nice little gap of 2.5 seconds from Sainz to third. In terms of the boosts we're using, downforce gives me the grip, it gives me the tyre management, and it also gives me the cornering, which is a great for Zandvoort. It's very much a grip track. And you've also got Kawhi, which is grip and basically cornering as well. So 2 very good boosts, perfectly set up for Zandvoort as we start race lap 3. And look at the gap. I did tell you, 2.2 seconds it's sitting. And this is a medium versus soft difference as well. So this is how powerful this Kawhi boost is around Zandvoort. You can see the gap out 3.6 to the same medium tyre back in P3. So it does absolutely matter that you use Kawhi. You can't recommend enough. As Alonso comes down the home straight, and Alonso will stop lap number 4, come back for some soft tyres. Sainz we won't boost just yet. I just want to take my time with him, create the gap, and the gap now 4 seconds, so we'll start to push. We just don't want to double stack where we can help it. 4.2, so we're absolutely fine on that front. Both coming back for some soft tyres. Rivals pitted already, coming out in 12th place. And 4 seconds is the gap now as we close for pit. So Alonso in, we need a big pit stop from AZW here. And we get it. Alonso is out and Sainz straight back in. And we can boost to the end. So hopefully we can stick to these 1-2s, nice easy running, and let's see if Sainz can't catch Alonso back up 3.5. A few back markers to come as well. So remember, let me know how you're doing in qualifying. If you're not making it through, let me know why. Where do you feel like you're struggling? Because I want to hear in the comments so I can help you. And make sure you do join the Discord server as well. So Alonso round coming through now. Sainz in P2. 2.9 with a lot of traffic. And we are just trying to see out this race quite comfortably now. And already we are coming into nearly the last lap. And now traffic getting absolutely chaos. Alonso lapping P15, Valtteri Bottas. If anyone's seen the new launch of the cars, also let me know what you think. I'm loving the Alfa Romeo look. I mean, I am a big Ferrari fan, so that could be why. But I do think the new Alfa Romeo looks very, very smart. And a typical junior Ferrari team, let's say, repping the red of Ferrari. So we come through, and we are about to finish race number 1 and score 47 points to begin with. I pray to God that we can carry on like this through. But Alonso, first race, comes along and wins. Carlos Sainz, 4 seconds back, takes second place. And look at that, we have pulled massively clear, 21 seconds. But most importantly, it's 47 points. Race 2, here we go, coming from France and the Paul Ricard circuit. And we've got potential rain, but it's a dry qualifying for Sainz and Alonso. Because can we stick it on P1 and P3 again? Close battle with a rival, P2, P3 indeed. And we have got a wet race to begin with. So let's have a look. Got to be tuning, got to be hex as well. Best boosts on the game in the wet. So let's see what damage we can do. I don't know if we've got a human rival. We're about to find out. They are P5, P6. And hopefully Fernando Alonso can get a decent start. And we are off. And Alonso straight into the lead. And Carlos Sainz follows suit into P2. We're going to keep these boosting for a minute. We're going to cut down so we don't get any embarrassment. And we've got 3-5, 3-5 for both drivers. And look at the power of that hex all over the back of Fernando Alonso. And that shows you just how powerful you are with hex on. I mean, I think Sainz and Alonso pretty good as it stands. I mean, the rival's pushing back in P5. We've got a decent gap already. That gap, 5.3 seconds. And we're probably going to stick to a 4-4 on both drivers. And we will just push with Alonso towards the end of the first stint with that tuning to create a good gap. Red Bull 3rd, Ferrari 4th, rival 5th and 6th. And that gap was 5.3, now 5.9, nearly 6 seconds. So the gap is extending. Remember, tuning, just because it's cornering, doesn't mean it's a bad boost. It's still absolutely beautiful to use, especially around these corners. And hex is just the goat when it comes to wet weather racing. Already 6.5 seconds the gap up to now to the rivals. That's what we've got to worry about, is the rival. And we've got some decent tyres available as well to do 4 laps here. As we come round, we'll probably start boosting shortly just to create that gap even further. What are the rivals going to do? Rivals will probably do a 3-2 maybe. But we're going to start boosting Fernando and boosting Carlos Sainz. And then at least we can conserve on the final 4 laps into the distance. So we come through, let's service Alonso up and let's service Carlos Sainz up. And we are well clear now. So a lot of look like the whole field are all going to pit lap 3 in France. So by extending, obviously the rival's gone longer, so it potentially is a human rival here. Because you don't usually go longer. They usually, most of them pit, and you can see them all pitting now. As Alonso's coming round. Well, what gap have we got? 2.3, so it should be sufficient. They are pretty close. Gets held up a little bit, Fernando. Tuning working wonders, and we are well out. 2.86, and we'll conserve with Alonso. Carlos Sainz out 3.8, out in P2. And we now have a 15-second gap over the rivals. And they are double stacking as well. So definitely looks like a human rival in race number 2. And we've pretty much avoided as easily as we can. And we are lapping it up in the rain, singing in the rain. And I'm not going to sing because you will quickly turn off this video. So we will not be going there at all, because I don't want to break any glasses. And you could also argue that I've already been singing because it's raining here in France for this GP. But we're just cruising around. I mean, that's all we got to do. No safety car. Obviously, if a safety car comes out now, we're absolutely fine anyway. We'll probably just pit for some fresh boots, because why not? And Carlos Sainz sitting P2, well clear of the field. And we've got just over 2 laps to go. 15-second gap for Sainz, who will be pitting again anyway. And they are going to be doing a 3-3-2 by the look of it. Alonso crosses the field. So 2 laps it is. Slow and steady wins the race out front when it comes to conserving at the moment. And we've pulled beautifully clear. 45 seconds to the last place. That's the power of boost, guys. Use boosts, because it does absolutely help you so much. And we'll start to now boost Fernando Alonso. We'll boost Carlos Sainz. And let's finish with a sprint to the line. Speed this up a little bit. And now we've conserved long enough. If I was you, if you can't do a 4-4 comfortably, definitely do something like a 3-2-3 with a tuning, or even a 3-3-2 with a hex. Either way, you can do 3 laps pretty much. By looking at it, you won't have a problem doing any undercuts or overcuts. If you can extend, if a lot of the field here pitted lap 3, so if you can basically, add something like a frost, something with tyre management, you can go through to lap 4, overcut everybody while they're all double stacking, and you can make some massive savings in time. So Alonso wins again, followed by Carlos Sainz in second. Another big win for the team, and it's another 47. Race 3 comes from Mexico, then the home of the famous stadium section, which boasts massive fans who go wild at the sight of Checo Perez. But hopefully not today, as we take on this rival for race 3. P1 and P3, so looking at another decent start here. And we're going to use 2 different boosts again, and we're going to tackle this very different. So we've got Kawaii, and we've also got Firework that we're going to be using as well for both drivers. Boosts are selected. We're going to go soft for both starts, and we'll probably just come back for mediums, because we shouldn't be in any trouble, and if we are, then God help us. But lights out, away we go. Fernando Alonso gets a good start. Carlos Sainz against Carlos Sainz does get past very easy, and that will cut us down into a nice comfortable lead already into the first 4 or 5 corners. We cut Alonso down and we cut Carlos Sainz down, and we then do get to work. Now Kawaii is great for the corners all across here. Brilliant corner boost, so great through there. Firework, on the other hand, is absolutely great down this long straight. So it is one to also balance. It depends where you start. If you start near the front, Kawaii will get you away before the straight. If you start near the back, Firework will help you get past down the straight. So it really depends what you want to use. And Dead Fast is great. Lumberjack is great as well. So some very good boosts that you can use at Mexico. It is in my track guides, so do check out the track guides for all strategies on the tracks I have available. And Alonso really pushing on through the front. And already, lap 3, we've got a good 3-second gap. And Carlos Sainz behind us on them soft tyres, trying to hassle us a little bit, push us into a mistake or an early stop, but it's not going to happen. And Fernando Alonso starts lap number 4. And we'll go to mediums because we've got no risk then. If we went softs, we don't need to conserve at all now, whereas softs can only do 3 to 4. So as we come through, 3.7 the gap, and what's the gap to back to P5? It's 6 seconds, so I do want to close that up a little bit, just so I don't get any traffic and any dodgy safety cars to basically block us and help us come from through the pack. So in we come with Fernando Alonso. Little bit of a double stack, but it's all good. And Fernando Alonso leaves in P1. What about Sainz? Comfortably in P2. So this is another masterclass, easy racing from the front for Mexico. And we are just going to now boost all the way to the finish. Let's see if Alonso and Sainz can't have a nice, decent race from battling. Alonso took 2 wins out of 2 so far, and I'm sure Carlos Sainz won't want to be an understudy any longer. So down the straight he goes, and goes very wide, and that gap sort of growing out now, as Alonso really wants a hat-trick of wins to go with the other 2. He's lapping up to P16 Sonoda. Carlos Sainz struggling through the corners, and that's where that Kawhi boost comes in magnificently. But tell you what, Carlos Sainz will absolutely love the speed given down the straight, and he comes down the straight now to start lap number 7, and the gap 2.8 to 3.3, changing all the time out front, and we're already lapping the rival. Looks like the rival went mediums or hards. Looks like hards and then come in for 2-3 soft laps. But we are away. We look like we're good. There'll be no safety cars to ruin any parties today, because Fernando Alonso is on the victory lap. Carlos Sainz with the firework absolutely flying, but it's not going to be good enough to catch Fernando. And we are going to see 3 easy races. I hope that doesn't cost me in the last and it throws me up a tough rival, because that will be a blow to the body. But Fernando Alonso secures a hat-trick. It's 3 wins out of 3 for Fernando, and for Carlos Sainz back in 2, it's 3 out of 3, but second places. So 3 races through, 3 lots of 47 points. It's time for race 4, the final race coming from Monza. Decent matchup this time, very tough matchup with a slightly higher team score. For qualifying purpose, I hope it's not a real player, but if it is, then we've got a race on our hands, and it will be a mixed result by the look of it. So we've got a dry race to start with, so we're going for dead fast on driver 1. Driver 2 will be going for a street shark. Going softs on both drivers to try and push ahead. Now we're about to find, is it a real player or not? Softs and mediums on the front, so I don't think this could be a real player. No boost selected and no boost from the start, so we are in a potential great shot at Flum 47s. Carlos Sainz can't get past early on though, and this is not going to be easy as you may think. Hopefully team orders from both of these cars in front will set us up to get past fairly quickly. And Fernando Alonso disappearing into the future already. And come on, here's a move. Come on, surely got to get us past this Alonso. They're both holding each other up. Sainz still can't get through. Alonso lets him pass down the straight. Or does he? They're fighting tooth and nail here. And they both go wide. I still can't get through. Wow, that's a tough move to get through there. And he is eventually through. Now Alonso checked out pretty much up front. And we're going to try and get past now this medium tyre. We've got to get past him as quick as we can. We don't want to get away too much at the front. And here comes Sainz with a move round the outside. Still can't make the move. And it's a good job we got some tyre management on this Street Shark to eventually get us into P3. We're going to come back, soft tyres. And Alonso will be going soft tyres as well. So let's absolutely make mincemeat of this P1. Let's boost off. And now I'm going to boost Sainz as well, just to clear the pack. I want to clear that hard tyre of Max Verstappen, really. And Sainz will be coming in at the end of this lap. We're going to cut down because we're right on the 50%. And hopefully, we can get ahead of the hard tyre of P9. We're coming back out of the pits. Rival on mediums. And we are behind the hard tyre, but so is the rival. So we're going to boost now. We're boosting Alonso as well, as hard as we can. And Sainz needs to get past the rival very quickly. We're still 4 seconds behind the people that have got a pit, so no drama just yet. And now the rival does get Max Verstappen. We also get him. Can we get Sainz into the last corner? We can. That's big move. Big move. And now we need to sprint off as fast as we can. And this Carlos Sainz will be pitting again behind us. The medium tyre P4 won't be. So we need to push this gap as hard as we can. And Fernando Alonso coming into the pits now. Carlos Sainz comes round. What's the gap? Gap is 8 seconds, so we should be good as Alonso comes out P1. Now I'm expecting to drop back 1 position. It's a long stop and we're going to lose both, so we've got to do this from the back, and we haven't got loads of fuel either, so that rival is going to be very pushed and probably run out of tyres on the last corner. We're just going to hold for a minute. What's the gap? I haven't really got time to hold, so I'm going to have to boost. Going to have to boost to keep this alive. Tough match up in the last, and it is pushing us all the way. We've got to get past that P2, which we should do here, and we will. We need to get past this Alonso. Will there be a gap lined up anywhere here? Not quite. The rival's going to boost on the last lap, lose all tyres at the last corner. This is what I'm calling. So we've still got a chance. We're going to boost from here and hopefully get a good run down to that last corner. Fernando Alonso way at the front, that's fine. Very low on fuel now, but we're going to keep boosting into this corner. Can we get him? We can't get him through there. Now we start the last lap. Rival starting to boost. The rival will definitely run out of tyres. So we are going to just play the long game here. We are absolutely fine with that. We've got it all under control. He says. He says. So let's boost them. Rival cutting down. And we'll boost away. Rival about to run out of tyres on the last corner. And we haven't done it. We've lost a point already. Oh, that's criminal. We only score 46 from a terrific position as well. I'm so disappointed in myself. The silence there showing you how much I was focused, and we couldn't get it. We just couldn't claw that back, and that was all because of another Monza start again. And sadly, it's 46 points. Let's look at the rival. 8-8, 8-8, and then sadly, max account compared to ours. I mean, I tried my best there. There's not a lot else I could do. I pushed as hard as I could, and sadly 1 point has been dropped. So it's 187 for the 4 races. Disappointing result in the end. Won't be a P1 again this weekend. We really do need to get a max account on the cards. But for now, we just have to hope and pray for the weekend. Hope you enjoyed that one. Sorry it led to a bad last race, but we move on for the weekend. I'll see you in the next one.